Welcome to EPG Pathshala, a program funded by National Mission on Education through ICT, a project executed by the University Grants Commission. Today, we'll be talking about Web 2.0 tools and services. If you look at the fundamental changes that has happened in World Wide Web, you'll find that Web 1.20 was mostly about one-way publishing or read-only web. Web 2.0 is mostly about two-way publishing, where the users interact with the content that are already published on the web and contribute to the making of content in Web 2.0 environment. Web Generation 2.0 basically refers to more pervasive use of web, where new technologies based on user interface are used for content creation and extended to several sectors that led to new concepts like Travel 2.0, Business 2.0, and Library 2.0. Let's look at the origin and definition of Web 2.0. The phrase was coined in 2004 by O'Reilly Media Group. Applications that make most use of advantages of Web 2.0 platform. It delivers software as a continually updated services that get better as more people use it, consuming and remixing data from multiple sources, including individual users, while providing their own data and services in a form that can be used by others for remixing by others, creating new network effects through an architecture of participation, and going beyond Web 1.0 to deliver rich user experience. Let's look at the origin of the term Library 2.0. The Library 2.0 was first coined by Michael Casey in 2006 on his blog called Library Crunch. It is a model for modernized form of library services that reflects on the transitions that are happening in the library world in the way services are built and delivered to the users. What it refers to is more and more participation of the users in building in the services as well as in the delivering of services. The application of concepts and technology of Web 2.0 applied to library services and its collection is named Library 2.0. Let us now look at the tools and techniques and categories of tools and techniques that are applied in Web 2.0 or Library 2.0. Synchronous communication, content delivery, collaborative publishing tools, collaborative service platforms, and lastly, hybrid applications, programs, and programming tools. We'll now examine the tools and technologies that are included in these major 5 categories of tools and techniques. To start with, let us look at synchronous communication. One of the examples of synchronous communication is instant messaging or virtual meeting. This is something that we are using day in and day out in our day-to-day life. It is a form of real-time virtual instantaneous communication. Real-time assistance can be given to the user, and it is used for sharing images, audio, and video files and other attachments. The examples of instant messaging is Google Talk, Call Talk, Windows Live Messengers, Yahoo Messengers, and one of the instant messaging tools that we use very often now is WhatsApp, which allows you to share videos, which allows you to share images, which allows you to share texts. Now it takes a bit of imagination. How can you use them for library application? For example, WhatsApp can be used to create a network of experts available within the library where they can share references reference services or reference questions that they get and get an answer to that to the users. So in a way, WhatsApp can be used to form a group of experts who can share the problems or queries that they get from the users and get an apt answer, which then can be transferred or can be transmitted to the users. Now, next category of Library 2.0 service is content delivery. Real Simple Syndication or Rich Site Summary, also called RSS, is a set of XML-based web content distribution and republication or syndication protocols. It is used to announce recent additions of content or updates to a website, such as arrival of new articles, blog entries, news, audio, and video. This technology, on one hand, allows a website or a publisher to list the newest published content, such as table of contents of a journal, news articles, book chapters, through XML. On the other hand, it allows users to know about the recent content published by a favorite publisher without even visiting the site, because these RSS feeds are delivered to the user in real time through interfaces that are called RSS syndicate readers. At InfluNet Center, we have created a RSS service where RSS feeds are delivered online from various publishers that we subscribe through in the UGC InfoNet Digital Library Consortium. So those RSS feeds are published on our platform in real time for the felicitation for the user. Streaming media is yet another category of tools and technology that are used in this category. Streaming media refers to sequential delivery of multimedia content over a computer network that is displayed to the end user as it is being delivered by the provider. It means that you do not have to download a film or a video content. It is delivered to you in a real time. The streaming of video and audio media is an important application that existed much before Web 1.0 and find its application in Web 2.0 too. It refers to the methods of delivering video content online without necessity of downloading it before viewing the content. Podcasting. Podcasting is defined as process of capturing audio digital media files that can be distributed over the internet using RSS feed technology. We have already talked about RSS feed, whereas RSS feed is used for delivering textual content. Podcasting is a method where RSS technique is used for delivering audio contents. So RSS feed is used for playing back on portable media players as well as on computers. Library can use podcast to support library orientation programs. For example, you can record something in an audio file and deliver to your user online. Vodcasting, in the word VOD, vodcasting stands for video on demand. So instead of audio file, now you're delivering video content using the same technologies called RSS feed. So vodcasting is used for delivering video content like podcast content. Vodcast content can be played either on a laptop or on a personal media assistant, or for that matter, mobile phones also. SMS inquiry services. SMS is something which took birth along with the mobile. It stands for short message services, which is a mechanism to delivery of short contents over the mobile network. The SMS inquiry services in a library allows patrons to use their mobile phones to SMS their inquiries to the library, and the librarians can in turn answer those queries using SMS also, where they can answer the queries or they can deliver the URL where the answer can be found. Now let us look at yet another category called collaborative publishing tools. Blog is one important example of collaborative publishing tool. The blog is also known as lightweighted diaries. A blog is a website usually maintained by individuals with regular entries of commentaries, description of events, etc. Entries are commonly displayed in reverse chronological order. This can be used by libraries for promotion, publicity, outreach services, and for dissemination of information, announcements for its new resources and events. Michael Casey, for example, runs a blog which is called Library Crunch. The Michael Casey, as you know, has coined the word Library 2.0. Peter Suber, yet another very important library science expert, runs a blog on open access. So he's in a way is considered one of the mentor of open access around the world. There are a number of websites which are blogs in the library. Library 2.0 by Michael Casey is one example, and Peter Suber runs a blog on open access. Wikis is yet another very important platform for collaboration. Wiki is a web-based application which allows people to add, modify, or delete content in collaborative manner with others. Wiki, as you know, Wikipedia is one of the product that is used, that is formed using wikis. Ward Cunningham was developer of the first wiki software called WikiWeb, originally described as the simplest online database that could possibly work. Libraries can use wiki as a communication tool to enable social interaction among librarians and patrons. So, as you can imagine, Wikipedia is a product and wiki is a software. And there are several variations of software that are found. Wikipedia is one of the important product, and you can see a screenshot of Wikipedia carrying an article on Library 2.0. Let us look at now collaborative service platforms that allows people to come onto that platform and start collaborating work. Social network is one of the examples of this. A social networking service is a platform to build social networks or social relations amongst people who share interest, activities, backgrounds, or real-life connections. Facebook, Google+, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, and Twitter are some of the examples of social networking. And of course, I'm very sure that you all are using Facebook as a media to share your views and family things and other things. The Facebook can be used by libraries to interact with their patrons and to share and exchange resources dynamically in an electronic environment. Now, libraries are frequently having their site onto the Facebook. So you can have your site on the Facebook. You can have your catalog that opens on the Facebook. You can allow users to catalog or rather tag entries in your catalog onto the Facebook and share with other people. People should be able to use your catalog entry to, to ask other people to come and visit those resources that they find interested. Examples of social networks are Facebook, Tumblr, Google+, MySpace.com, Twitter, and Friendster. Tagging is yet another important technology which is collaborative in nature. A tag is a non-hierarchical keywords or term assigned to a piece of information such as internet bookmark, digital images, or computer files. This kind of metadata helps to describe an item and allows it to be found again by browsing or searching. That basically means that the job of cataloger is taken by the user. In addition to the cataloging term that are assigned by the librarians, the user is also allowed to tag or catalog a books, which he can share with others or which he can keep to himself for personal use. The user can define and categorize information based on his or her own perception and assign keywords to a given piece of information. In Library 2.0, user could tag libraries collections and thereby participate in the process of cataloging. For example, Koha is a software that allows users to tag items of their interest. So they can tag a book, they can tag a chapter in a book, and they can use non-conventional method for tagging a books or tagging a chapter in a book. They may say a hot book, If they want to define a book as a hot book, they can define it as a hot book. So they can use non-conventional method to describe a book or a chapter of books. They can share those tags with others, or they can keep those tags with themselves only. Now, let us look at social bookmarking services. Social bookmarking, the term bookmarking is very well known to you. It basically means that you are tagging a favorite site for future use. So social bookmarking is a method of storing and organizing, searching and managing bookmarks of website using descriptive metadata. So what basically you're doing is that you are bookmarking a site onto a social networking system where other people can also use your favorite or your bookmarks. In social bookmarking system, users can save links to web pages that they want to remember and or share with other users. So what perpetually happens is that many people share their bookmarks, and those bookmarks become a database of bookmarks which are made available to larger group of people, where these sites are described using descriptive metadata, and it is shared by others. Look at the bookmarking services. There are several of them: ItList, Blinklist, Clip2, Clipmarks, Hotlinks, Delicious, Furl, Simpy, Site You Like, Konotia, TumbleUpon, Magnolia, Blue Dot, Bigo, etc. They are some of the popular bookmark services. Libraries can make use of social bookmarking site using RSS feeds for subject disciplines or in areas of specialization relevant to them. Now, let us look at the last category of Library 2.0 services and technology. This is hybrid application, programs, and programming tools. Mashup is one of the examples. A mashup is a web application that uses content from more than one source to create a single new service displayed in a single graph. Now, for example, mashup basically is a word that is used mostly in music for fusion. You take two different groups of classical musics and then make a mashup. You can take a classical music and Western music and make a mashup. So mashup is a term picked up from a musician, but it is used for mashing up more than one technologies to come out with a single technology. Google Map is one of the best example of mashup, where you are using principles of GIS, you are using geographical locations, you are using names of cities and putting them together on a mashup. So mashups are applications where two or more technology or services are merged into a completely new novel services. For example, Wikibios, a site where users create online biographies of one another, essentially blending blogs with social networks. iCal interface is an example of that. AJAX, asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It's basically a programming language which stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML, or AJAX. It is a group of interrelated web development techniques used for creating interactive web applications. The term AJAX has come to represent a broad group of web technologies that can be used to implement a web application that communicates with the server in the background without interfering with the current state of the page. That basically means that a portion of the website or portion of a web page can be refreshed without actually refreshing it. So it keeps refreshing. For example, if you look at some of those sites where cricket scores are displayed, without refreshing, you get the new, the latest score, which is basically done using AJAX technology. AJAX is a cross-platform techniques usable on many different operating systems, computer architectures, and web browser, as it is based on open standards such as JavaScript and document object model. Application Program Interface, API. API programming interface is a source code interface that provided by an operating system, library or services to support requests made by computer programs. For example, Windows has an API, Scopus and Web of Science, the two important citation database. They also provide APIs for people to select data and use it in other mashup applications. Library toolbar is the last category of tools and technology. A library toolbar is a graphical user interface consisting of panel of buttons, icons, menus, or commands that are used more often in an application. Toolbars are used in common applications such as Microsoft Word and as add-ons for web browsers such as Internet Explorer and Mozilla Firefox. In fact, InfluMNAT is a toolbar where we list e-resources that we subscribe under UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium, and we have also included services that we offer to the user. Now let us at the last look at the comparison between Web 2.0 and semantic web, which is a further evolution on Web 2.0 technology. Web 2.0 can be said to be a document web, whereas Web 3.0 can be described as metadata web. Web 2.0 is characterized by abundance of information, whereas semantic web is characterized by control of information. Web 2.0 is controversial because the information that goes into it is uncontrolled. Anyone can participate anytime. In semantic web, it could be much more controversial because you are trying to synthesize information which is available in open, and there is no control on it. Web 2.0 is characterized by social web, whereas Web 3.0 is called intelligent web because semantic relationships are established between the content. Web 2.0 is dynamic or static. Static plus dynamic information is there, whereas semantic is highly mobile and it has 3 dimensions to it. Web 2.0 belongs to second decades, that is 2000 to 2010. The semantic web can be said to be third decade, which is 2010 to 2020. Google can be considered as a catalyst for Web 2.0, whereas semantic web companies are catalyst for Web 3.0. Web 2.0 depends very heavily on wisdom of the crowds, whereas Web 3.0 depends on wisdom of experts. Mashups and fragmentation are characteristic of Web 2.0, whereas integration and creating new tools is characteristics of Web 3.0. Search is the logo that Web 2.0 carries, whereas Y search, where you can find information, is the logo that is used in Web 3.0. Google's PageRank algorithm is one of the characteristics of the Web 2.0, which basically depends on technologies that are beyond information retrieval technology, whereas Web 3.0 depends on technology of ontologies, semantic system, etc. Web 2.0 is characterized by lawlessness or anarchy, whereas Web 3.0 follows rules, standards, protocols, and it is more orderly than Web 2.0. Web 2.0 is print and digital, whereas Web 3.0 is digital and dynamics, and it is filtered information. So this is it for Web 2.0. I hope you have a good learning experience. Thank you.